Welcome to the FOCUS Broadband TV High School Football Game of the Week. A Brunswick County rivalry matchup on deck for you as the West Brunswick Trojans have made the trip over from Shallotte up 17 to Gary Bishop Stadium to take on the North Brunswick Scorpions here tonight. West Brunswick enters tonight's contest 0-7 overall, 0-4 in league play. The Scorpions of North Brunswick 5-2 overall, 2-2 in league play. North tied for third in the Mid-Eastern Conference standings. Best color analyst in the business, Jay Combs, back with us as always. Jay, welcome to the show, partner.
Good to be here, Sam. And we were here just a week ago. Oh, no, was it? We weren't here a week ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Okay. But, yeah, two teams that, interestingly enough, coming into this evening's game, both on a losing streak. Now, the difference is West Brunswick's been an extended losing streak, and North comes in after losing to New Hanover last week 30-21. So the Scorps looking to get well against their arch rival West Brunswick here this evening.
And, Jay, for West Brunswick, we had them last week in Shallotte. It was a 49-7 loss at the hands of the Laney Buccaneers. It looks like West Brunswick has won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. West Brunswick had some bright spots, Jay. That was it was a competitive game for a quarter and a half, and then things really got away from the Trojans. Late in the second quarter, you'd say?
Yeah, and you know, it's such a funny game. I mean, you can play really well for a fairly good period of time, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and you're in deep trouble. And, of course, that's going to happen to a lot of teams against Laney this year because they have terrific scoring ability, and they certainly did that last week against West.
And this North Brunswick team, another team that can score in bunches, only scored 21 against New Hanover last week in a 30-21 loss. So West Brunswick will have North's full attention here tonight with the Scorpions coming off a loss and trying to get back to their winning ways. About a minute and a half before the kickoff. Jay, tell us a little bit about this North Brunswick offensive attack.
Well, they average 36 points a game, and defensively they give up 25. But they like to run the football, Sam. And, of course, why not when you have the leading rusher in the conference and senior Eric Mosley. He's rushed for 877 yards coming into this evening's game, 8.5 yards a carry, 5 times. He's gone over 100 yards into the game. He's scored 9 touchdowns on the ground and even caught a couple of passes. So Mosley, the principal running, but they've got some other guys that can move the ball both on the ground and through the air, and they are led by Teron Green, their quarterback, who has 624 yards passing, 5 scores. Now, he has been prone to the interceptions, thrown 5 INTs this year, and he's rushed for 264 yards, over 6 a carry, and a couple of scores on the ground for the senior T.T. Green.
And here come the Scorpions on to the field. We are almost set for the game's opening kickoff, and I believe they've got the junior Scorpions leading the charge tonight.
Yeah, saw those kids coming in this evening from Leland, and, man, they look like future Scorpions, and future not that far away for some of those kids.
Yep, followed by the middle school Scorpions, followed by the 5-2 North Brunswick Scorpions that we'll see tonight. And perfect time to welcome Dr. Mike Maurer to the broadcast. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hey guys, happy to be here. Excited for this matchup. We saw that North was able to bounce back after that major loss to Hoggard. They're looking to do the same thing this week, bouncing back from that New Hanover loss. Like you mentioned last week, West had some glimmers. They're a young team. We kind of expect that from them. So looking to see what they can do this week and then going forward into the future to finish the season and into next year, given how young they are.
Jay Bird, really, really hard to believe this is the 8th game of the season for these two teams. Feels like we just started down in Tabor City in week 1, and here we are, North Brunswick 5-2, West Brunswick 0-7, and we are officially on the home stretch, if you will.
We really are. It's gone so quick, and still a few weeks to go, and then, of course, the playoffs. I think, Sam, correct me, but North is probably pretty much clinched a 3A state tournament berth by virtue of their winning record in the league thus far. But there's still some seeding to go, and that'll take place over the next, 3 weeks.
Yep, a lot to play for. North Brunswick receives the game's opening kickoff. That was number 32, Cody Callahan, who fielded it cleanly and returned it out to the North Brunswick 40-yard line, where we'll get our first look at the North Brunswick offense led by senior quarterback T.T. Green.
And as I mentioned before, he could throw the football 624 yards, but they would much rather run it, and with the bevy of running backs that they have, including Teron Green himself, who averages 6.2 yards rushing. Deschelle, 155 yards on the ground. Webb, 217 yards on the ground. So got a lot of different guys that can run.
That's Webb with the first carry of the ball game. The junior running back, Calvin Webb. He's across the 45, brought down at the 46-yard line, a gain of 6 yards, where it will be 2nd and 4, and look how quickly North Brunswick gets back on the ball, ready to go.
Garrett Powell on the stop that time. He's had a pretty good junior season for the Trojans.
I have a carbon copy of the first play. Good block on the edge, and Calvin Webb rushes all the way inside the 30-yard line, marked out of bounds at the 28. That's 22 and 4 more, 26 yards for number 6, Calvin Webb, and the Scorpions in business early.
Yeah, I mentioned Calvin Webb, 217 yards, but what I didn't mention was he scored 5 times, and he averages 7 yards per touch, and he certainly demonstrated that here this evening, the first 2 runs from scrimmage.
1st and 10 for North Brunswick. Ball at the 28-yard line. West Brunswick signaling that a North Brunswick lineman moved before the snap, and it is a false start penalty against North Brunswick. And Big Mike will be really happy. I didn't see who it was, so I can't call their name anyway.
I appreciate that. We don't need to say their names. Like I said, they're a unit. What we're seeing earlier from West is they are stacking the box. Not too successful in those first 2 runs, but they are stacking it, trying to completely take away the run for North.
There's 8 guys in the box for West, and that's Calvin Webb. It did not matter that time. West stacks the box, and North ran right through them anyway. 33 yards from junior running back Calvin Webb, and 43 seconds into the game, the host Scorpions have taken a 6-0 lead.
We don't have sizes on the North roster, but Mr. Calvin Webb looks like he's put together pretty good, and he's only a junior.
So he had a 26-yard run, a 6-yard run is 32, and then 33. 3 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown for Webb on that drive. 60 yards rather.
Right up the gut, and maybe somebody touched a shoestring, but that was about it. Good blocking at the point of attack. That was Molina with the extra point, Sam. That would make him 25 of 26 this year. Jacob Molina, a junior, an outstanding field goal and point after weapon for Brian Davis's Scorpions.
So, Jay, there's an interesting little nugget. The scoring drive for North Brunswick was 60 yards as they started at their own 40, but Webb actually rushed for 65 yards because of the false start penalty. He got 5 more there on the 33-yard touchdown run.
You are just amazing.
Statistical oddity.
And only 43 seconds have elapsed, and you've dug that nugget out. Thank you so much. West needs a special teams play to kind of even things out.
High end over end kick fielded cleanly by Jaquel. Nope, that's Woodard. Nope, it is Davis. I had it right the first time. He was tripped up around the West Brunswick 25-yard line. I think maybe they'll give him the 26, and we'll get our first look at the West Brunswick offense. And frankly, Jay, it's been tough sledding for a West Brunswick offense that I believe entered tonight's contest averaging 10 points per game.
Yeah, that's exactly the case, Sam. But one of the bright hopes for this offensive unit of West Brunswick is the kid that ran the ball back, Jaquel Davis, just a 10th grader. He's rushed for 633 yards. As we have another procedural call. Let's see which way it goes.
That's going to be against the Scorps there.
Anyway, Davis, Sam, 10th grader, averaging 5.4 per carry. He's had a 100-plus game. He scored 1 touchdown, and he's also caught a pass for 18 yards. So he is something to look forward in the future. And that is not what you wanted to do if you are the Trojans. Aaron snap. Borton could not handle it, and wisely falls down on it at around the 20.
Jay, it went from a 1st and 5 to a 2nd and 17.
Just that quick.
2nd and 16, actually, but Davis looking for running room around the right side. He had very, very little, maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage, so officially no gain. And just like that, Jay, West Brunswick finds itself facing a 3rd and 16 with the ball at the Trojans' own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Garrett Gore and number 5, Jabril DeShiel in on the stop. Between those two guys, over 60 tackles coming into this evening's contest.
Borton drops back. He's going to try and take off and run with it, and he had a little bit of running room, picked up about 4 yards of it back, but was dropped a couple yards behind the original line of scrimmage, and that will set up a 4th and 12 for West Brunswick with about 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in the opening frame.
Sam, it's a big jump from middle school football to high school football, and if you're doing it in the 9th grade as the quarterback, that is a tall order. Borton will just get better and better, but it's going to be a while.
Oh, fielded off the hop by the North Brunswick return man. That was number 30, Ty Witters, rather.
And I think that was 13, Noah Borton, who I'm going to guess is related to Josiah.
He is Noah, the older brother.
And he did a heck of a job that time of special teams tackling, or that could have been a long way, and we got a penalty against the Scorps.
A block in the back on the return.
Shane Handy, the first-year coach at West Brunswick, and I think Shane knew that a little bit of rebuilding was in order for West Brunswick. They've been so good for so many years, and these things are somewhat cyclic. So the kids are gaining experience, trying different things, and of course, trying to win as hard as they can.
Jay, I'm counting 60 kids on the North Brunswick roster, and 21 are seniors.
That sure helps.
That's a pop pass from Green to Green. That's T.T. Green to Michael Green, and the pass complete for a gain of 13 yards. Michael Green marked down at the North Brunswick 45-yard line, so a 1st and 10 for the Scorpions approaching midfield.
Michael Green's 9th catch of the season.
That was a high snap, and T.T. Green did a good job to secure it, handed it off to Calvin Webb, but the play was blown dead. It's a 2nd false start penalty of the game against North Brunswick, and that will result in a 1st and 15 ball at the North Brunswick 40-yard line.
That's not going to make Coach Davis too happy. You would think week 8, a lot of those procedural things would have sort of cleaned up and sorted themselves out by now. But
T.T. Green around the right side, trying to make a man miss. He's still on his feet. Got one man to beat. It's Tyreek Woodard. Stiff arms him. Finally wrestled out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Ruled out of bounds at the 12. A huge gain of, 10 and 38 more, 48 yards on the quarterback keeper by the senior T.T. Green. And North Brunswick knocking on the doorstep again. They're inside the West Brunswick red zone for the second consecutive possession. 1st and 10 at the 12. Calvin Webb. That was number 5, DeShiel. My bad there, partner. That was Jabril DeShiel on the carry. He's marked down at the 9. It's a gain of 3 yards. We'll set up a 2nd and 7 from the 9-yard line.
And back to TT on that run. That will put him just about at the 300-yard mark rushing for the season. And DeShiel, another capable runner, 9 TDs. He's the guy you like to give the ball to in the red zone, and darn, we have another
false start, I believe.
Wow. Sam, I'm almost thinking these guys should just, and when I say these guys, I'm talking about collectively, not just North or West, all these teams, just go out and get set and don't move, right? Just don't move. I know that takes away from their offense.
Dr. Mike with West Brunswick stacking the box, so to speak. How's North Brunswick been able to find so much running room here in the early going?
You're just putting helmets on helmets, man. So you essentially you're making all your blocks. You're creating holes, and the running backs are doing a great job at filling those holes. What I'm looking forward to is when they finally let TT eat in the pass game, because West has been playing real shallow coverage, real kind of double zone if they're playing zone, and all it's going to take is one receiver to get across that and get deep, and we're going to start seeing high points and high yardages, I'm assuming.
Dr. Mike, can we go back to Dr. Mike, Nathan? Dude, you are looking so slim this week. What did you do this past week?
Well, so we have 2 cameramen, so I know it's going to be on me, so I suck my gut in and look really tall.
Pro move. Absolute pro move.
Dr. Michael Maurer, never disappointing to go to Dr. Mike.
So right before the timeout, it was a false start penalty against North Brunswick. So turned a 2nd and 7 into a 2nd and 12. The ball is at the 14-yard line of West Brunswick. 7:51 left in the first. The Scorpions leading the Trojans 7-0. So 2nd and 12. Ball is at the West 14. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. T.T. Green looks toward the bottom. Now he's rolling out to his right. Just kind of push passes it out of bounds right beside the referee, so it'll go down as an incomplete pass. And, Jay, pretty smart play. He rolled out, got no running room, so instead of losing yardage, just take the incomplete pass, right?
So, Sam, often wrong, never in doubt. That's what an analyst is supposed to be, right? But I would guarantee that when T.T. Green was in the 9th grade, he wouldn't have thought to do that. He's a 12th grader now, and he's been through the wars, and that's the same thing that Josiah Borton will learn how to do from his freshman to senior year.
So North's going to keep it on the ground here on 3rd and 12, and a good play out on the edge by the Trojan defender. I think it was 34.
Cumby?
I believe it was 34 from his defensive line. It was 34.
Cumby, who's
made a great play.
He sure did, and again, just a 10th grader. So it looks like is Molina coming in? Yeah.
He is. Jay, the ball was marked down at the 15-yard line, so it'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt from here. Molina trying to give the Scorpions a 2-score lead.
6 for 6 on the year, longest 37.
It was a good snap, a good hold, a good kick, and North Brunswick adds points on its second possession of the game. A 32-yard field goal up and good by Jacob Molina. His impressive season continues, and less than 5 minutes into the game, the host Scorpions have built a 10-0 lead over the West Brunswick Trojans. But Jay, all things considered, if you're on in the West Brunswick bleachers or on the West Brunswick sideline, you got to feel like that stop there inside your own red zone is a small victory, right?
Yeah, you know, take what you can, and 3 is a lot better than 7 if you're a Trojan fan. I was looking at the leaders in the conference in field goals, and coming into this evening's game, Molina was 6 for 6. Austin Luther from over at New Hanover High School, 7 for 9, but Molina's tied him now, 7 for 7 on the season.
Tyreek Woodard on the return for West Brunswick, and he is brought down almost exactly where Jaquel Davis was on West Brunswick's first kickoff return of the night. I think he's brought down at the 25-yard line where West Brunswick will take over 1st and 10.
Well, a wee bit better field position than last time. I think if Borton is going to throw, it's got to be real quick. You know, a 1, 2, 3 step, boom, let it go. Otherwise, they're going to rely a lot on that line to get some holes for Jaquel Davis.
Face mask. It was a great defensive effort by North Brunswick, but there was a hand that got in there and got the face mask of Josiah Borton. So I'm assuming that's what the head referee, Mr. Mike Brown, saw, and it is a personal foul, face mask against North Brunswick. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty and will result in a West Brunswick first down. Jay also gives us a chance to tell our viewers who the officials are tonight. The referee, the white hat, Mr. Mike Brown, back judge Carlos Braxton, the umpire Andrew Ferraro, the linesman Wayne Merritt, and the line judge Todd Lambeth.
Thank you for your service, gentlemen.
And in a time where it's becoming increasingly hard to find high school officials, we're certainly thankful for these men and women. Pass intended for the tight end, number 16, Aiden Brown, and he could not quite come up with what would have been a juggling catch, so an incomplete pass will force the Trojans into a 2nd and 10 ball at the West 40-yard line.
Well, Borton had a little bit of time to throw that on that possession, on that play, and
Jay, West actually must have heard you from the booth, because they did cut blocks hoping for a quick pass, and he actually had to clutch it back and then throw it again. So he's still getting pressure in his face.
Speed option to the left side. That's Jaquel Davis on the carry. That was a good productive play by West Brunswick on 2nd and 10. Letting Borton run the speed option out to the left, made a good pitch to Davis, who had a good physical run, picked up 5 yards, and that will result in a 3rd and 5 for West Brunswick at the Trojans' own 45-yard line.
A little bit slow in developing that time, but they'll take the positive yards for sure.
Batted down. Nice play by the defensive lineman. That was number 54, Gavin Limbert, one of those senior defensive linemen for the Scorpions. Yeah, I couldn't tell if West had a receiver there or open, but Limbert batted it down almost before it could get into the North Brunswick secondary. So
Gavin's had a really productive year, Sam. 26 total tackles, 19 of them were solo. He's tackled opponents 6 times for a loss, and he's got a pair of sacks to go with it.
And that's Borton handling the punting duties for the Trojans. Rolls out to his right as he was under heavy pressure and gets the kick away and the punt rolls down at the North Brunswick 31-yard line, a 24-yard punt, and no return. So with 5:38 left in the opening quarter, the North Brunswick Scorpions lead the Trojans of West Brunswick 10-0, and the North Brunswick offense will come back onto the field.
Well, 10-zip lead early for the Scorps, 2 possessions, 2 scores. That second one, they took the field goal after advancing down into the red zone, but West Brunswick's defense stiffened, and the Scorps took the 3.
Handoff up the middle, another big gain. Running back still on his feet. That's Calvin Webb. He's got one man to beat. He's inside the 20. It's a race to the pylon.
Tell you what, that's might be a flag on that one.
And Jay, was he ruled out of bounds? I got totally shielded over here in the corner.
He was out of bounds, but the tackle kind of happened more out of bounds than inbounds. Mike, you had a good look at it.
Yeah, it was a late hit out of bounds around the 2-yard line. When you see this replay, make sure you watch the referee running backwards and then turning and sprinting, because he was keeping up with these kids.
Man, I'm impressed.
Wow, Webb's having a great first quarter. So it was pretty close to begin with, Sam, and it just got moved up a little bit more because of the infraction.
So it was a 66-yard run by Calvin Webb, ruled out at the 3, and then a yard and a half closer on the personal foul, and they're going to give Webb a chance to finish it off, but he was brought down shy of the goal line, actually lost some yardage, and I saw a flag or 2 fly in there toward the end of that play.
Face mask.
Well, Webb, Sammy's got to be over 100 yards already, and we still have a lot of time here in the first quarter.
Personal foul, face mask against West Brunswick, so that will move North Brunswick even closer to the goal line. So, Jay, with Webb's 33-yard touchdown run and that 66-yarder, there's 99.
Yeah.
So he is certainly over. I think he had another 26-yarder, so he's probably about 135, 140. Wow. Goal-to-go situation. It's Webb, and he's in. It is a touchdown, 5:18 left in the first quarter, and North Brunswick has sprinted out to a 16-0 lead over the visiting West Brunswick Trojans.
Well, he has been proficient in the scoring area this year. They went for 2 and failed. Strange.
So 2-point conversion, no good. And, Jay, here's what set it up. 1st and 10 at the North on 31. Made Trey Evans miss in the defensive backfield. Then it was just a one-on-one with Calvin Webb and Tyreek Woodard.
And there's the flag. And, Mike, you were right. The official did a pretty good job of trying to stay up with those young kids.
I try to be right as much as I can.
Well, Sam and I are like stopped clocks, right? We're right 2 times a day. We're guaranteed.
I don't even know if I'm right that much.
Beyond that, I don't know.
So North Brunswick has had the football 3 times. They got 2 touchdowns and a field goal. West Brunswick has 1 first down in its first 2 drives, and it's all Scorpions here early. Man, on a 0-7 team, Jay, that's averaging 10 points a game and averaging giving up 40+. Jaquel Davis has really been one of the few bright spots.
He is, and the good news for Trojan fans is that Jaquel's only a 10th grader, so got a huge upside for him. Same thing with Horton, only a 9th grader. They being West Brunswick, play a lot of young kids. Jude Suriago, good-looking sophomore tight end, outside linebacker, and there are others.
Oh, Jay, right on cue. Borton found Jude Surrogal right down the seam. He was all alone. Throw may have been just a touch behind him, but one I'm sure that young Jude Surrogal would love to have back.
Yeah, and Jude, so sorry I butchered your name. I'm glad Sam corrected it. And I should know that after all the years your brother played basketball at West. But anyhow, yeah, he's, despite not coming up with that ball, kid's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yes, he does.
Oh.
So Jay very nearly intercepted, and we had a flag come in right at the line of scrimmage. So we'll wait to see who that penalty is against. It's right where a couple offensive linemen were hitting the turf when the ball was thrown. The ball was in the air at the same time as the flag, so looks like it's going to be against North Brunswick. Personal foul, either face mask or illegal hands to the face on a North defensive lineman or North Brunswick pass rusher, I should say. So that's West Brunswick's second first down of the first quarter, and both have come via North Brunswick 15-yard defensive penalties.
Yeah, when your best play offensively is a penalty by the other team, you know things aren't going too well for you. But look at the great field position that the Trojans have.
High snap. Borton did a good job corralling it. Davis lowers his head and pushes forward. He's got midfield, so 3 yards on the carry. It will be a 2nd and 7 for West Brunswick with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the opening frame.
I'm sorry, we've talked a lot about the youth of West Brunswick, but there's some seniors that are doing well too. And 51, Isaiah Fullwood was down on the ground trying to carry that block 5 yards downfield. Nice effort by Fullwood.
Borton's going to take off and run with this one, and then he slides down across the 45, down at the 44-yard line. And Jay, I think there's another example. It's a good play by Borton. I think maybe even a year from now, certainly 2-3 years from now, maybe a little more field awareness, see that he was only a yard away from moving the chains, and he'll take one more stride before starting that slide.
Well, that may well be, but, Garrett Gore was waiting for him.
Yeah, probably smart.
He went down, and Garrett put his hand down there and helped him back up that time.
So 3rd and 1, Jaquel Davis. Jay, I think he just got it. I mean, I don't think he got more than a yard there, but I think he got just enough for the first down yardage.
Yeah, he probably did, but let me tell you.
It is 1 yard on the gain will give West Brunswick its kind of first offensive first down of the night.
Number 16, Camonte Carter, came knifing around from the top of the screen, went low, grabbed an ankle, and not quite enough. But Carter, 16, watch him. 40 total tackles, 32 solo, 10 tackles for a loss, a couple of sacks, and an interception. Great player.
There's Davis again. Got across not across the 40, but he's knocked down at the 40-yard line. Another gain of 3 yards, and that will put the Trojans in a 2nd and 7. West Brunswick needs the 30 or just shy of the 33-yard line of North Brunswick for a first down.
Sam, Davis is a tough hombre.
He is.
He carries the ball a lot and jumps right back up and give me more, Coach, give me more.
2nd and 7, ball at the North Brunswick 40. West going to drop back to pass. Borton kind of double clutched it, and it was over the head of the intended receiver. That was, again, number 8, Jude Surrogal, across the middle of the field. The throw a little too tall for Jude and falls incomplete. And that will set up a 3rd and 7, ball at the North Brunswick 40-yard line with the game clock stopped. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the opening frame.
Well, Sam, 2 possessions from here, wouldn't you think? It's at the 40. You're down 16. You're still in the first quarter. I think you got to, do what you can to keep these chains moving.
So West with 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Surgal, Herring, and Timothy Collis Miller. They're going to keep it on the ground with Jaquel Davis. He's ruled down at the 35-yard line, so give him 5 yards on the carry, and that will set up a 4th and 2.
Some of the big guys up front, like I mentioned, Fullwood, Churko, Bellamy, Lyndon Clemens, getting down in the, I wanted to say dirt, but in the AstroTurf or whatever you call it.
And on the short yardage situation, North Brunswick defensive back came off, and Gavin Limbert came back in. So North beefed up before this snap. And now we got movement on both sides.
Oh, West thinks it's on the Scorpions.
Yeah. West thinks it's on North. North thinks it's on West. Against the Trojans. Yep, false start against West Brunswick. So Jay, forget that 4th and 2. It's 4th and 7 again after the false start against West Brunswick.
Well, I still think if they can't pick it up, still take a couple of shots. Look at the cheerleaders, man. I tell you, up here in Leland, it's a total show. The band,
it's a party on Friday nights.
The
isn't it?
cheerleaders, the football team, the capital of Chick-fil-A, and so.
So 4th and 7. Borton looking for some running room. He doesn't have any. He tries to reverse field. And number 11, Garrett Gore, waiting in the wings, brought him down for a loss of 3 yards, a sack on 4th down, and it'll be a turnover on downs and bring the North Brunswick offense back onto the field with a 16-0 lead, 1:18 left in the first quarter.
Second sack of the year for Garrett Gore. He's a senior, and he's had a really solid defensive year. 21 total tackles, 16 of them solo. 4 times he's tackled someone for a loss, and as I mentioned, that is now sack number 2 on the season for the senior Garrett Gore.
So North Brunswick starts 1st and 10 at its own 43. That's Michael Green in motion toward the top of your screen. Handoff up the middle. That's Calvin Webb again.
Wow.
And he is going to score untouched as he saunters toward the goal line. A 57-yard touchdown run by number 6, Calvin Webb. And what a night the young man has had. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the first quarter, and Jay probably got about 180 yards on top of that. He's having a career night and done it all in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredible. We'll get down to Mike after this point after, but Sam, anybody touching?
I don't believe
No.
so.
No. Mike, you can't see this replay that we're looking at now, but honest to goodness.
I saw it live and in person. It was a perfect counter play away from the motion, wide open hole, nobody in the 2nd or 3rd level to try to even attempt to tackle him. He ran all the way in. I made a mistake earlier when I said they were going to start airing it out. I think TT has one pass today, and that was a rollout, bailout run, shovel pass out of bounds. Other than that, just running the ball and executing that part perfectly.
They do like to run the football, and they do it all so well.
So, Jay, even if we didn't have a scoreboard ticker at the bottom of the screen, I would say this for our viewers. North came into the game averaging 239 rushing yards per game this season. They have eclipsed that in the first quarter.
They say they're probably over that. Goodness.
Webb at about 180, 185, and then T.T. Green had a 48-yard run as well. So if they're not over it, they're awfully close.
They are knocking on the door, no question about it, Sam.
So 23-0, North Brunswick has already eclipsed its point total against New Hanover from a week ago when the Scorpions were held to 21 points. So with 107 CJ, that was all done in 10 minutes and 53 seconds. North Brunswick, 4 scores, 3 Calvin Webb rushing touchdowns, and a 32-yard Jacob Molina field goal.
Yeah, and Sam, correct me, but generally if you see one team jump out that many points in this amount of time.
Another sack. This time it was Carter. Camonte Carter brings down Josiah Borton behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of about 3 yards.
If you see this big a margin in this short a period of time, you would think there was a punt, kickoff return, an interception, a pick six, a fumble recovery and run. No, this has just been offensive runs, 33, 32, 57, and then did I miss one? No, it was a field goal.
You got
That's
it.
right.
North has completed 1 pass, and it was the little jet sweep, little pop pass to Michael Green for 13 yards. Nice run by Jaquel Davis on 2nd and 13. He got about 8 yards on the give, moves the ball out to the West Brunswick 25-yard line, and Jay, that will likely do it for the first quarter from Gary Bishop Stadium. All Scorpions, to say the least. After 12 minutes of game action, it's North Brunswick 23, West Brunswick 0 on your FOCUS Broadband TV Game of the Week. And we're back for the start of the second quarter on your FOCUS Broadband TV Game of the Week. West Brunswick and freshman quarterback Josiah Borton facing a 3rd and 5 from their own 25-yard line. Borton under heavy pressure again. Jay, West is gonna get bailed out there. It was excellent defense and pass rush by North Brunswick, but when the sack man reached in there to grab Borton, he got a handful of face masks. So West Brunswick gonna get a first down there by virtue of the face mask penalty. And Jay, for a game that's been dominated by North Brunswick, they have been bit by the penalty bug. That's the 3rd first down they've essentially given the Trojans on a face mask or illegal hand to the face penalties.
Yeah, 2 of those face masks, I think, were against the or happened to the quarterback, Borton. I bet his neck's not going to feel too good in the morning, but a lot of penalties.
Yeah, big picture, it does give the Trojans a first down and leave the offense on the field.
Well, this would be, what were you saying before, Sam? I think this would be the 3rd first down because of a penalty.
Yep, 2 face mask on Borton. Committed against Borton, and then illegal hands to the face on a defensive lineman. And I think we're going to get a false start penalty against the Trojans. Take this 1st and 10 and make it a 1st and 15. Dr. Mike, is North Brunswick on the plays where West Brunswick is dropping back to pass, North's not having to bring any additional pass rushers? Is this they bring in four guys and that's it?
Yeah, pretty much they're just doing a standard rush. It's way different than that game we saw against South where they were bringing 5 or 6 guys every single time. They're just getting a ton of pressure with just the 4 down linemen that they have.
Ooh. That was a big collision there on that run by Jaquel Davis, but the North Brunswick linebacker, and I did not get a number, he was certainly game for it. Dropped Davis right in his tracks. It was a pickup of 3 yards. Ball moved from the 35 to the 38, where it will be a 2nd and 12 for West Brunswick. Jay, we got some good other games in the area this week. I think I saw New Hanover and Laney playing this week. Hoggard against Topsail and South Brunswick against Ashley. We're working on getting some updates for you in those games. There's Borden, found some running room in the defensive backfield of North Brunswick. Carried it from the 38-yard line to the 44, so 18-yard gain by the freshman quarterback, Josiah Borton, and we have a man down back near the line of scrimmage. And, man, everyone in navy blue and gold, the North Brunswick faithful, in a game like this, boy, that is a guy on defense, Jay, that the Scorps just would – it'd be real tough if they lost Camonte Carter. He can really play.
He is he's a stud, senior. As I mentioned earlier, 40 total tackles. 32 of them were solo, 10 tackles for a loss. He had 2 sacks coming in. I think he's picked up another one already this season. And he also has an interception. So just a really, really solid all-around defensive football player for North Brunswick.
So, Jay, speaking of other games in the area, Ashley has a 21-7 lead over South Brunswick. And I'm sorry, partner, if I could peek at this. Jay, if, of course, lot of football left tonight, but if Ashley could hold on to that lead it has over South Brunswick, the Screaming Eagles would move to 3-2 in Mid-Eastern Conference play. They've got wins over West Brunswick and New Hanover in conference play tonight. If they could beat South Brunswick, that would be a 3rd league win for the Screaming Eagles.
Yeah, and they are 5-3 overall. So, Sam, you've been covering Brunswick County sports a lot longer than I, but can you remember when Ashley won 5 games? I guess it's been a while.
You know, they had and they may have since then, but they had a good team my junior year. Well, that would have been 03 football season. They had I'd imagine they won 5 or more that year. Boy, Tim Hauer is of Coastal Preps is an Ashley alum. He would be the guy to answer that question. He knows all the history.
I still get a kick out of Timmy being on the Friday night football show with Jake. Did he really? He should have given it. I'm sorry, Nathan.
I forgot what play it was.
Nathan
the one-handed catch by Hampton Roderick.
Nathan said that Tim gave Sam a shout-out last week for that catch by Hampton Roderick in the Laney West game, and rightfully
which
so.
I'm still marveling at. That was absolutely sensational. Jay, another one of those games we mentioned, Laney has a 7-0 lead over New Hanover with 9 minutes left in the second quarter.
They are good, they being Laney, and of course, New Hanover as well. So,
and if for some reason we do have any Laney faithful watching us tonight, don't send ugly messages to me, but I didn't think Laney played particularly well against Inchalote last week, and still won 49-7.
Well,
so
yeah.
the point is, it's a compliment. To me at times it looked like they were going through the motions and won a high school football game by 42 points. But Jay, with Colby Little and Hampton Roderick and Crudup in the backfield and backup tailback who ran wild against West. Can't think of his name right now. Anyway, Laney's got some weapons.
Well, they do, and it starts with their quarterback, Colby Little, who leads the conference in passing. Then you have in receiving Hampton Roderick, and, they have a really, really solid offensive unit.
I believe we're going to take a short break here. West Brunswick, when we come back, we'll have a 1st and 10 at the North Brunswick 44-yard line. North Brunswick leading West 23-0 on the game of the week. And we're back to your FOCUS Broadband TV high school football game of the week. North Brunswick leading West Brunswick 23-0. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left before halftime, and certainly the entire team at FOCUS Broadband TV sends our best wishes to the injured North Brunswick football player who was just helped off the field after a 18-yard rush by West Brunswick's Josiah Borton. The Trojans have a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line of North Brunswick, and we're set. Borton still on his feet. Really good run. Ball came out. And North Brunswick recovered it. Man, it was an excellent run by the freshman quarterback, Josiah Borton, but he fumbled the football right at the line to gain. Had about 10 or 11 yards. Would have been a first down run, but as he's fighting for extra yardage, North Brunswick knocked the ball out and recovered it at the 27-yard line. And, Jay, that kind of night, that kind of season, back-to-back really good runs by Josiah Borton, and at the end of the second really good run, he fumbles the football and the Scorps recover.
Well, and Cody Callahan, who is a really good defensive back for the Scorps, was the one that recovered the loose ball. He's got a couple of interceptions this year too, so Callahan having a pretty good year with taking the ball away.
Sprint out, pass intended for Michael Green. And Big Mike, you'll be pleased to know, I think there was a false start missed on that one, but it was not a lineman. It was the slot receiver, kind of his legs buckled. The ball hadn't been snapped yet, but no one saw it, so the play stands, and incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It's only a false start if it's called.
There you go. There you go. Well said. Well said. So the game clock stops on the incomplete pass. 10:02 left before halftime. North Brunswick leading by 23. Bubble screen out to Michael Green. West had 2 guys right there, but couldn't bring them down, and Green ends up out across the 35, marked down at the 36-yard line. Boy, Jay, I thought the Trojans had him teed up there. Looked like he was going to be kind of a sitting duck when making that catch, and neither guy went for the hit.
Made some chicken soup out of chicken feathers that time. Good thing that Collis Miller was able to bring him down. Wow.
That's Calvin Webb.
Kid must be strong, Sam.
He narrowly, a West Brunswick defensive lineman, I think that was Sneed, number 71. Josiah Sneed, the sophomore, very nearly had him in the backfield, but Webb was able to elude the tackle and get enough for a North Brunswick first down.
And he carried one of the tacklers a couple of yards.
Better job that
and
time.
Here we go.
By the West Brunswick defensive line.
Another flag.
Tristan Williams at the bottom of that pile, but it's a holding penalty against North Brunswick. And West will back them up. I believe that'll move the ball to the 31-yard line, so it'll be a 1st and 20 for North Brunswick. 8:58 left before halftime, and the Scorpions leading 23-0. T.T. Green keeps it around the right side. West Brunswick defensive lineman tracks him down from behind the play. I believe that was 68 Marlowe. Jamal Marlowe, the senior defensive lineman. Boy, Jay, I remember Marlowe. West Brunswick played here, and it would have been, I believe, the 2020 season, and Marlowe got called up and started on the defensive line that night as a 9th grader. It's hard to believe he's a senior now. Oh, T.T. Green hit as he throws. He's got a man. Oh, he made the grab. What a catch. Number 4, Timothy White, a 63-yard touchdown pass from T.T. Green to Timothy White. T.T. Green threw it right as he was being hit by a blitzing linebacker. White initially bobbled the perfect throw, but then corralled it and sprinted in from about 20 yards out to make it a 29-0 North Brunswick lead.
Well thrown ball by TT and a nice catch by White. Molina for the extra point.
Man, perfectly thrown pass. Molina's kick is up. Molina's kick is good. And Jay, watch T.T. Green get rid of this ball right as he got hit by Collis Miller. I mean, he got rid of it in just the nick of time, and Timothy White took care of the rest. Jay, that was a perfect throw if you're not under any pressure. To make that throw at that location while someone's bearing down on you for a sack, really impressive throw by the senior quarterback.
Yeah, well, his ability to pass the football sometimes gets lost by not only his ability to run the ball, but the entire team's rushing capability. But a nice throw and a nice catch that time. Big 63-yard TD play for the Trojans, and they're up now 30 to zip with still 8 minutes, Sam?
Still 8 minutes left
Holy
in
cow.
the second quarter. It is a 30-0 North Brunswick lead.
Has North scored every time tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, they haven't punted. I know that.
4 touchdowns and a field goal for the Scorpions of North Brunswick. Tyreek Woodard with a good return and then lowers his shoulder at the end of it and gets close to the West Brunswick 40-yard line, marked down at around the 36 or 37, it appears.
So, Mike, you're down 30. What's the play?
Normally I would say stick with what worked or has worked. Nothing's worked. The only thing I would say the bright spot here on the West offense is really the quarterback. For a freshman, he's got good pocket awareness. He's tough as nails. He's held the ball several times on read options and even like pitch plays and gotten creamed. So the fact that he keeps his nose down, he's kind of forget about that fumble and just keep going at it. You put the ball in his hands and see what he can do. Again, he's a freshman, so you're probably not expecting too much, but that's what I try to do. Just put it in his hands and let's see what he's got.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Michael. And just every rep, every play, every time he touches the ball, it's good experience for him. And I think their backup is Tristan Williams, who's a senior and much more of a linebacker than a quarterback. So you sort of got to let the guy play through the bad stuff. There's a catch that time. First one of the night for Aiden Brown. Second one of the year for the senior.
That will bring up a 3rd and 7 with the ball at the West Brunswick 40-yard line as the Trojans look to the sideline to get the play.
And I think there's a timeout called. I don't know how this is sounding to you folks watching, but we are right next to the North Brunswick Marching Scorpion Band, and when and as Nathan just whispered in my ear, they never disappoint, and he is so right.
They are very good, and they have been jamming since before the opening kickoff tonight. It was West Brunswick who wanted a timeout before the 3rd down snap. And there's a look at the Marching Scorpions. And a well-deserved round of applause for the band and its members.
Well, this kid's in the band work really hard, and not only kind of perfecting their musical talents, but even their physically they have to be fit. Gosh, they kind of doubled us walking into the stadium tonight, Sam.
And most of them in full band get up.
Yeah, you know, and
it's not cool tonight. It's pretty warm evening, or was before kickoff at least. Ball's on the ground. Borton just had to go pick it up, and he was sacked for a loss of 5 yards to force the Trojans into a 4th and 12 situation with the ball at the 35-yard line.
Kind of been in a little bit of a bad streak here with those snaps. The last 3, I think, were more low than they were high anyway. So West is going to punt it away. Now, I think you said Borton punted the first time?
He did, but this is Hamrick.
Okay.
This is JoJo Hamrick on the punt this one. Oh, and he got off a good one. But fielded cleanly by North Brunswick, and the punt returner dropped back. It was Trey Evans along with number 13, Noah Borton. Jay, that's the at least the second time tonight Noah Borton's been down there on a West Brunswick punt and made a nice tackle in the open field.
Yeah, coaches watch that stuff too. You know, I was looking at the conference leaders and different categories before tonight's game, and interestingly, you know who the leading punter is in the Mideastern Conference? JoJo Hamrick.
Huh.
Now, that's the good news. The bad news is they only had him kick him one time for 40 yards. So
he has punted more than that.
I think he has, yeah.
Jet sweep. That was the punt returner there, Witters, who picked up 5 yards on the catch from senior quarterback T.T. Green. So approaching the 5.5-minute mark before halftime, North Brunswick leading the Trojans of West Brunswick 30-0.
Ty Witter's just a sophomore, Sam, so.
Nice looking player.
Yeah.
North keeps it on the ground, got enough for the first down yardage, and then some, about 11 yards on the pickup. And that was junior tailback Calvin Webb again.
Again. Yeah. He's now over 200 yards in the first half or close to it. I don't know.
I think West wants a timeout on the field after that 11-yard run by Calvin Webb. So 5:05 left in the second quarter. North Brunswick 30, West Brunswick 0. Mike, a lot to like, a lot to celebrate if you're on the North Brunswick side this evening.
Yeah, offensive line playing exceptionally well, defensive line playing well. The biggest thing an issue that they've had is the penalties. So they had early false starts. They've had the face masks. That's discipline. So I'm sure the coaches will find something, and that'll probably be the key to critique and help build the team going into the playoffs.
Well, I think this is not specific to or unique to North Brunswick, but any team. As you begin to go along further in the season, and particularly when you finally begin those tournament games, you can ill afford to make the number of mistakes that they've made here this evening. So to Michael's point, over the next few weeks, there'll be time to kind of emphasize that and clean it up before the games really start.
North going to the air. He's got a man. Nice pitch and catch from T.T. Green to number 10, Chris Webb. And Webb held on to the ball right as he was being hit by West Brunswick safety Trey Evans. It's a gain of 25 yards and sets up North with a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, catch number 9 on the season for Webb.
And he's going to score again, Jay. Made about 3 or 4 guys miss. Over on the right side, it's a 19-yard touchdown. Jay, he was across the goal line before the chain gang even got set up after the 25-yard pass completion from Green to Chris Webb. So 4th rushing touchdown of the night from the junior running back, Calvin Webb, and it is a 36-0 lead. North Brunswick over West Brunswick. Still 4 minutes and 40 seconds left before intermission. Jacob Molina's kick is up, and Jay-Bird Molina is about as automatic as you can be, isn't he?
He is really, really good. How many has he got tonight? So we'll watch this again. Nothing fancy. Webb did get a little opposition that time. Several of his runs this evening, he really didn't get anybody even to lay a hand on him, as we see the happy North Brunswick cheerleaders. A lot to cheer at tonight, that's for sure.
So Jay, North went for 2 once and failed. So he's 4 for 4 on extra points and 1 for 1 on field goal tries.
So he's 28 for 29 point after attempts and 7 for 7 for the season field goals. Great foot. By the way, only a junior.
High end over end kick fielded cleanly by West Brunswick's Woodard, and he's got a big crease up the left side, lowers his head around the 45-yard line, where he was driven out of bounds across the 45 at the 46. So about a 40-yard return by Woodard over there on that ended right in front of the West Brunswick sideline.
It was way across the field from us, but I think it was Saitik Bryant, senior, who was making the big special teams tackle on that kick return.
Jaquel Davis looking for some kind of running room.
Well, to Mike Mauer's point earlier about Davis, he's a tough kid. He wants the ball, he takes the ball, and he gives it out as well as he takes it. Only a 10th grader. Gonna be something. I believe, if I remember correctly, he's the second leading rusher in the conference coming into this evening's games.
He's had a real nice sophomore campaign.
Wow.
Borton under heavy pressure again. Somehow
Got
picked up a yard on that run. Some tough running. Got it from the 47, or the 48 to the 49-yard line. So give him a yard. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 49.
Sam Borton's going to be seeing blue-shirted Scorpions in his sleep tonight. They were just everywhere. I'm surprised. I don't know how in the world he got away for a yard. That was a great effort on his part.
Davis dropped after a gain of 2 yards on that 3rd and 7 play. So that'll set up a 4th and 5 with the ball at the North Brunswick 49-yard line.
Bunch of blue shirts in on the play that time, but it looked like 5'6". Deshaun Joyner was one of them. He's a big kid, only a 10th or 11th grader.
And a special shout out to Miss Maggie and Huck and Winnie Sue Hickman, who are watching tonight's ball game from the friendly confines of the living room. Hamrick had to catch that one and get rid of it pretty quick. Good catch, good return across the North Brunswick 30 to about the 32 or 33-yard line, where the Scorpions will try to make it 7 for 7 on offensive possessions and scores here in the first half. The Scorps have had it 6 times so far tonight, scored all 6 times.
As long as we're doing shout-outs to special people, I want to give a shout-out to Darius, my wife, who won the blue ribbon at the Columbus County Fair for her pound cake.
Hey!
How about that? How about that? Nathan said
that's
he
the
is
special
not.
shout out of all special
And
shout outs.
guess what? She gets $11 for it, plus the blue ribbon, of course.
And the blue ribbon is you can't put a price tag on that.
No, you can't.
Webb across the 40-yard line, brought down around the 42-yard line.
Sam,
So
I know
give
it's
them 9 yards.
Early in this game still. I mean, we're only in the second quarter, but a blue ribbon performance by Calvin Webb here tonight.
Green rolls out, pass complete over around the home sideline. That is wide receiver Chris Webb, his second grab of the night. Good for about 10 or 11 yards, and the North Brunswick Scorpions getting some work in with their 2-minute offense here late in the first half.
Yeah, and have thrown the ball a little bit and quite well here in the second quarter. That's
Marcus Fuller,
yeah.
the senior receiver, who made that grab and a couple nifty moves afterwards to pick up 8 yards. So 2nd and 2, ball's at the 38. North going to keep it on the ground, and Webb muscles his way across the 35 down to the 33, picked up about 5 yards and another Scorpion first down.
Trying to get that number of the tackler. I think it was 32, Javonta Daniels, just a junior.
Green rolls out to his left, thought about it, makes one Trojan miss, and then hops out of bounds at the I'm shielded by a player, about the 33-yard line. So officially no gain on the play. I think in the NFL they register that as a sack. You chase the quarterback out of bounds and he does not pick up any positive yardage, I think it goes down as a sack. Either way, 2nd and 10, ball's at the 33-yard line of the Trojans. T.T. Green looking for a receiver down the field, makes one man miss, makes another man miss, still on his feet, and then levels a defender over on the far sideline.
That might have been Woodard on the short end of that hit. He's up and moving. That's a good sign. But
you know what? I appreciate his willingness to try to level a blow.
About 35 seconds left, and North knocking on the door.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Green gets the snap, rolls out to his left. Kind of a push pass over to the bottom left of your screen. I think that was 88 who made the catch. Will Jones, the junior receiver. It was good for a couple of yards, maybe 3, but we'll call it a 2nd and 8. North Brunswick wants a timeout on the field. 25 seconds left in the first half, and Jay, I got to say it was a good opportunity for North to practice the 2-minute offense, and they've executed it pretty doggone well.
Pretty doggone well for sure. Yeah, Will Jones, by the way, who caught that ball, has had a really good year. That's catch number 9, over 140 yards now through the air and a touchdown. So TT has decided to, particularly as you said, Sam, at this quasi 2-minute drill, they've moved the ball around pretty well through the air. And not to mention the 63-yard touchdown pass from TT to Tim White in this quarter. So passing numbers are adding up for Green and North Brunswick.
So, got a bit of news that North Brunswick fans will love to hear, and I will share it after this play. 2nd and 8, ball at the 12-yard line. Man in motion toward the bottom of your screen. Green rolls out. Now he throws it back. Very nearly picked off by number 21, Garrett Powell, and falls incomplete. Yeah. So, TT and RJ and Deshaun have 3 little brothers who will all be at North Brunswick in 4 years.
Oh, my word.
Tyler, Maximin, and Yanni Green.
Come on.
They have another 3
Come on.
who will be Scorpions in the very near future.
Oh, my word.
Their father tells me. So good luck, West and South.
Yeah.
Oh, it's picked off. It's picked off. That's Timothy Collis Miller. Jay, he might go. He's at midfield. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, touchdown. We do have some laundry on the field back at like the 38-yard line.
It's going to be a block in the back.
North tried to set up the middle screen. It was picked off and returned for a touchdown, but I think they may get the Trojans. Yep, it was whoever clipped T.T. Green, I believe.
Mike, could you see it?
It was a block in the back on TT. I don't know who did it, and if I did, I wouldn't say his name. But, yeah, it's like he didn't have to do that. I mean, TT's got speed. He might have been able to catch him, but he didn't have to.
No, it was waved off.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so it's a score.
All right, hey, go West.
The flag was waved off. So, Jay, let's take another look at it. A lot of moving parts there. Tried to throw back, middle screen. Collis Miller just one-hands it, picks it off, and the rest is history.
Well, that's a great play by Collis Miller, and, of course, a wonderful lift for West Brunswick. Only 5.4 seconds to go here in the second quarter, but I don't know, 37 and pending the extra point. 6 or 7 looks a whole bunch better than 37 zip. And now we got a timeout, West Brunswick.
West is going to call a timeout. They only had 10 men out there with the extra point team, so the Trojans call a timeout to get 11 guys on the field. Jay, I had it as a 86-yard pick 6 for Timothy Collis Miller. Gets the Trojans on the board. And Jay, the catch, one of the most impressive parts of it, kind of behind him, and he just stuck his right paw out, snared it, and then just outran everyone 80-plus yards for a West Brunswick touchdown.
Well, I'm pretty sure TT did not see Collis Miller, certainly didn't expect him to be there. They had the middle screen set, but Tim Collis Miller made the play, and then a great run for the score.
I think North Brunswick had ideas that they'd call that play for a touchdown, just on the other end, of course. It was a good snap, good hold, and good kick. So JoJo Hamrick's extra point is true. With 5.4 seconds left before halftime, West Brunswick is on the board. It's North Brunswick 37, West Brunswick 7.
Well, like I said, it's a little psychologically, you got to feel good if you're West to get off that nasty 0. And let's see, they can't remember, Sam. I think they'll receive the ball here in the second half.
West won the toss and deferred,
yeah,
so West will get the ball to start the second half.
Chance for a little Friday night magic comeback for the Trojans. Got to start somewhere. Wanted to check to see. Nope, that's the first interception of the season for Collis Miller.
Got a handful of catches on the offensive side and has been playing a little more defense in recent weeks. And with plays like that, going to find himself out there all the time. A little squib kick, fielded cleanly by North Brunswick. Jay's got a little running room around the left side, eventually slung down at around the 37, 38-yard line, and that will do it for the first half. So it was all North Brunswick for Jay. 23 minutes and 30 seconds. West Brunswick on the second to last play gets a pick 6. Takes us into the halftime break. North Brunswick 37, West Brunswick 7 on the FOCUS Broadband Game of the Week. And we're back for the start of the second half of your FOCUS Broadband TV high school football game of the week. It's North Brunswick 37, West Brunswick 7. West Brunswick won the opening coin toss and deferred to the second half, so the Trojans will get the ball first to begin the third quarter. North scored the first 37 points of the first half, but a Timothy Collis Miller 86-yard interception return for a touchdown got the Trojans on the board with less than 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. So the Trojans looking to build on that momentum that they earned late in the first half. Here as the second half gets underway. And that kick bounces around the 4 and skips across the goal line before it was fielded by Woodard. So it'll be a touchback, and West will start the opening possession of the third quarter from its own 20-yard line.
Well, it has been tough sledding offensively for West Brunswick here this evening, and that's kind of a snapshot of how it's been all season long for the Trojans. They only average 10 points a game. They give up 42 points a game, so they've got their work cut out for them if they want to try to make a game out of this in the last two quarters. And another flag, which has been all too common here this evening.
False start penalty against West Brunswick. So it'll be a 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line. A lot of folks inside Gary Bishop Stadium for this county rivalry game. That's Jaquel Davis, who carries it from the 15 to about the 18-yard line. A pickup of 3, and that will set up a 2nd and 12 from the 18. West Brunswick needs its own 30-yard line for a first down.
Oh, they had a nice halftime presentation, Sam, honoring some of the great athletes of the past here at North Brunswick. And then, of course, you get to see the marching band do their thing. So a lot of fun here tonight for the North Brunswick.
Man, big-time sack. 61, Rod McLean, the junior defensive lineman, has got rid of a West Brunswick offensive lineman and then swallowed up Josiah Borton all the way back at the 10-yard line, a loss of 8 yards, and that will set up a 3rd and 20. West has a 3rd and 20 at its own, balls at the Trojans' 10-yard line.
Yeah, Rod's a senior, 8 total tackles and 3 for a loss coming into tonight. You can add a sack to that one now.
Deep ball down the left side. Closest intended receiver was Timothy Collis Miller, and it was Satiq Bryant, the junior defensive back for North Brunswick, who was the closest man in coverage. Nearly came up with an interception, but Josiah Borton's throw was over everyone. So fourth and 20 for West. Sorry, Jay Bird.
Bad place to punt, Sam. Hamrick in his end zone.
Not ideal. Kind of a low and outside snap. Hamrick gets off a pretty decent kick, but it was low. Oh, and a good job. A good job by 21. Garrett Powell.
Hey.
Long snapper gets down there and brings down the punt returner, but excellent starting field position for North Brunswick on this drive. The return man fielded it about his own 49, got across midfield and across the West 45, was brought down at the 44-yard line of the Trojans, where North Brunswick will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, pretty nifty tackle by Garrett Powell. Kind of looked like a catcher that time. That, of course, that's what he is on the West baseball team, but good effort by Garrett.
And, Jay, this is number 2, Michael Green, taking snaps here. That's not T.T. Green behind center for North Brunswick. So maybe we've seen the last of T.T. Green at the quarterback position tonight.
Michael has thrown a few times this year, not a lot. in a backup capacity. But I think if Michael can hand the ball off here, he'll do well.
Yep, just hand it to Calvin Webb and
He'll
get
do
out of the
well.
way. Webb, well over 200 yards rushing tonight. False start.
What are they doing wrong? Are they, like, when they start that shift across, are they, like, coming forward? I have no clue, but, man, the last 3 weeks, we have been just overwhelmed by
Inundated with
yeah.
procedural penalties. None that time. And Calvin Webb steps out of a couple of tackles and gets across the 35 back to the 34, which was the original line of scrimmage. So we'll give him 5 yards on the carry, and that will put North Brunswick in a 2nd and 10 situation, ball at the West Brunswick 34.
I'd like to know how big Webb is. I don't know what he weighs, but he sure runs heavy.
Oh, reverse. West Brunswick defended it pretty well.
Sure did.
And it was a good play out on the edge by 32. That is Javante Daniels. Took on a block, got rid of the blocker, and then was able to bring down the ball carrier for a loss of a yard. And that will put North Brunswick in a 3rd and 11 situation. Ball at the West Brunswick 35. Approaching the 8.5-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Scorpions leading the Trojans 37-7.
Well, that's the kind of defense that West is going to have to put together here. Plenty.
Green's going to throw it deep. And it is picked off. Trey Evans intercepted the pass. Garrett Powell was the cornerback in great coverage. And then the free safety, Trey Evans, stepped over and picked off the pass. The good news for North Brunswick, it was like a great punt, if you will. That's down at the 1-yard line. So not good starting field position for West Brunswick, but they'll certainly take the defensive highlight.
Well, Michael had all day to throw and had threw into coverage, and that's just a good play by number 20, Trey Evans, a sophomore, I might add. Wanted to see, Sam, Michael Green passing 4 for 6, 30 yards before tonight.
And there comes Borton. I think he may have went under the legs of a guy or two. There was some pushing and shoving on the line, and then Borton just kind of squirted out from underneath everyone, picked up a couple of yards to make it 2nd and 8, and if nothing else, at least affords the Trojans a little more breathing room with the ball backed up near the west end zone.
Some of those guys are pretty big, so you can do that.
That was Jaquil Davis on the handoff. Got across the 5-yard line to the 6, so another couple of yards on the carry for West Brunswick, and that'll set up a 3rd and 6 from the West Brunswick 6.
Yeah, Sam, we were trying to count heads at halftime. There is not a lot of white shirts and green hats here this evening, or black hats, whatever they are, for West Brunswick. 32 or 3 kids we counted. Wow.
Very short gain, a yard, maybe 2 on 3rd and 6. West got the ball out to about the 8-yard line. Needed it's on 12 for a first down. So 2 yards, 2 yards, and 2 yards on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. And the West punt team will come right back onto the field. And Jay, assuming Ty Witters can make a clean catch here, North going to get excellent starting field position on this next possession.
That's for sure. And Withers is pretty quick, so.
High spiraling kick. Oh, it hit a North Brunswick return man. Loose ball and a good heads-up play by Satiq Bryant. to dive on it at the North Brunswick 49-yard line. So the Scorpions maintain possession. We got I think that's Garrett Powell.
Might be Powell.
Real slow to get up for West Brunswick. He kind of dove after that loose ball and it's kind of hit as he dove to the ground. A little awkward finish to that play, but North will retain possession as Satik Bryant dove on the loose ball.
Still, despite that, they come away with really good field position to start this drive.
Jay Bird, not that it matters, but I don't even see T.T. Green down on the sideline.
Hope he's okay.
Yeah, likewise. Oh, that was set up beautifully. Set up beautifully. Man on the loose. Can he score? Yes, he can. Number 10, Chris Webb on the speed option from reserve quarterback Michael Green. It is a 51-yard touchdown and increases the Scorpion lead to 43-7, 6:17 left in the third quarter.
Boy, that was just a well-designed and executed play. Excellent effort that time by Michael Green. And then Chris Webb. It's Webb around the board tonight, right, for touchdown plays. And Chris Webb picks up his first TD of the night.
Got a flag before the point after try. It's an offside penalty against West Brunswick. So the ball will be moved up to the 1.5-yard line. And Jay, that was a reserve kicker. That was Holland Miller, who hasn't been quiet as a punter tonight since North hasn't punted one time. So he's on to get his work in on the extra point team.
And guess what? 3 for 3 on the year from points after by Holland Miller.
He can kick it too. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. Kick is good, and it's a North Brunswick 44-7 lead. Here's the touchdown run. Speed option to the left, and Chris Webb takes care of the rest. Turned into a foot race, and he beat Tyreek Woodard to the front left pylon for a Scorpion touchdown.
Mike Maurer, how fast did that kid run down the side in front of you?
Faster than me is all I can say.
So 6:17 left in the third quarter. North Brunswick increases its lead to 37 points. Scorpions 44, Trojans 7. And Holland Miller will kick it away to the Trojans. High end over end kick, fielded at the 5. Good kick coverage by the Scorpions. There's Ty Witters again. Called his name no fewer than a dozen times tonight. He's making all kinds of plays for the Scorpions, particularly on special teams and kickoff coverage and handling the punt return duties for the Scorps.
Yeah, Carter Cox downfield too. So excellent field coverage by North Brunswick. And gosh, the ball's where, Sam, around the 22?
22.
That's the best field position here in the third quarter, isn't it?
So the West Brunswick offense back on the field, trailing 44-7, almost halfway through the third quarter. Wide receiver screen to Asher Herring, and he is swallowed up. A loss of a couple yards there.
5'4" Gavin Limbert, the big guy. outside in the right position to bring down Asher on that pass. I like the quick throw, but wasn't quite quick enough, I guess.
Limbert read that one from his defensive line position and just sprinted down toward the bottom left of the screen to make that tackle.
Wasn't there a Limbert that played quarterback here?
Levi.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Ooh. Pass a wee bit behind to.
That was brother to brother, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Josiah to Noah.
They'll talk about that
make
tonight.
The connection.
Yeah, they'll talk about that tonight. So what we got, Sam? Third
and 12. Ball's at the 20. West needs the 32 for a first down. Timeout. Yeah, West Brunswick wants a timeout before this 3rd and 12 play. Game clock at 5 minutes and 25 seconds. North Brunswick 44, West Brunswick 7. Barring a most miraculous comeback, North Brunswick going to improve to 6-2 overall, 3-2 in Mid-Eastern Conference play, while the Trojans, again, barring a comeback, would fall to 0-8 overall and 0-5 in league play.
Sam, let me go over some of the leaders again in the conference leading into week number 8. Mentioned Little, leading passer. Hampton Roderick, the leading receiver.
No surprises there.
Tackle leader, Tyler Gladden from Ashley. 69 total tackles. 21 solo, 3 sacks. The sack leader, Kenyon Newkirk from Laney High School, 8.5 sacks. The interception leader, Kamar Fulton from Hoggard, he's got 3, but a couple of players out here this evening, Dominic Ragone for West and Cody Callahan for North, each have 2.
Nice play on the football from Satiq Bryant. Yeah, I could not tell who the intended receiver over there was. 5. Well, I'm not seeing on the Trojan
maybe a 5
roster.
is somebody new because we don't have him on the roster. But that was a great play by Bryant that time from his defensive back position. 15 total tackles, 2 for a loss, and 2 sacks for Mr. Bryant this year. Oh, close.
Another good kick, fielded cleanly by Whitten. He's still on his feet, finally driven down inside the 20-yard line at the 19, I do believe, of West Brunswick. So North Brunswick with a 37-point lead has a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line of West Brunswick after the 33-yard punt return by number 30, Ty Witters.
Probably getting close to that 42-point rule, right? I guess.
A touchdown here would do it. That's Jabril DeShiel, the ball carrier, and he was dropped after maybe picked up a half-yard. No gain. No gain.
Hayden Bias.
Yep.
Haven't heard his name many times tonight, but 10 total tackles, 3 times tackles for loss for the senior. His rush for 84 yards. Got a touchdown this year, so.
We were there for his rushing touchdown against Topsail, I do believe.
Pretty valuable on both sides of the ball.
Oh, on the ground, partner. Michael Green's now just got to tuck it and try to get anything he can with it, and somehow picks up about 3 or 4 yards. He was knocked down around the 15-yard line, so Michael Green turns that errant snap into about a 3-yard gain, maybe 4.
You know, Michael Green's pretty athletic. We talk a lot about T.T. Green and his athleticism, but his backup, Michael Green.
No relation.
Do a little bit of everything, rush, but principally a receiver, and also has a touchdown to his credit this year.
3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the third. Calvin Webb back in the game as the back. Michael Green looking for some running room. He's knocked down at the 15-yard line. He picked up a yard. It'll be 4th and 5 or 4th and a short 6 for the Scorpions here.
Well, the question is, do you go for 3 or do you keep him out on the field? I think they probably keep him out on the field because if they can't score, they're certainly pinning Weston way back in their side of the field.
Looks like they will keep the offense on the field for this 4th and 6 play. Ball's at the 15-yard line. Green gets the snap. He's going to throw the fade to the front right corner. Pass falls incomplete. No flags on the defense, so the Trojans force North into a turnover on downs, and West Brunswick's offense will take over 1st and 10 at its own 15-yard line.
Mike, not a lot of activity here in the third quarter other than the long run for the touchdown by Chris Webb.
Yeah, both defenses, well, the North defense is playing really well, kind of getting those quick 3 and outs, getting the ball back. Besides that long run, the North offense is struggling a little bit to get going. The holes that they were creating in the beginning of the game aren't quite there. I'm assuming that's going to change once they kind of get warmed up.
And a good chance a lot of the reserves are getting some playing time too, so that'll make a difference.
It's Jaquel Davis around the right side, a run out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So the sophomore running back picks up 5 yards on 1st down as the clock continues to run.
I'll tell you what, and we've said this in several different ways here this evening about Jaquel Davis, but only a 10th grader. He sure doesn't play like a 10th grader, and kid does not have any fear. He takes the hits and keeps on running.
Well said, Jay. Right on cue.
Yeah, he's
probably about 7 or 8 yards after contact there as a North defender, or excuse me, a West offensive player lost their helmet on the play, so he'll have to come out for a snap. Davis picks up enough for 1st down yardage, and the Trojans have a 1st and 10 at their own 31.
Well, you know, Davis impresses me because he's one of those kinds of running backs that doesn't necessarily have to run away from you. Okay, he can he'll get those tough yards between the tackles. He averages 5.5 a carry. Not so much that time.
Not much going on that time for the Trojans as we approach the 1.5 minute mark in the third quarter. North Brunswick leading 44-7.
And I've only got him statistically, as much as he carries the ball this year, Sam's only fumbled 1 time.
Ooh. Borton made one man miss, and then he was lifted up off his feet there as he fought for extra yardage. And then we got some extracurricular activity after the play. As the head referee, Mike Brown, and his crew work to sort this out.
Well, they're talking. Now the band is playing. I think this might be against
So it's a dead ball, personal foul against North Brunswick, and it will result in a West Brunswick first down, and the ball moves out to the 48-yard line as you get a look at the Scorpion band there in action.
Yeah, they're right next door to us. And when they started up,
I mean, they might as well be in here with us. They're right next door.
But they're very, very entertaining and
very good.
Do a great job.
The kids do a wonderful job. Borton keeps it, muscles his way across midfield to the 49-yard line. A gain of 3 yards will set up a 2nd and 7.
Sam, you of the unbelievable memory. Has West picked up a first down tonight without a penalty involved? I mean, have they just had, they made 10 yards?
A handful.
Okay,
Davis ran for one on a 3rd and 1 right here in front of us. I remember that one.
Okay, good. Their big play was the pick 6.
Not many, Jay, but they do at least have one. That's going to do it for the first 3 quarters. We're going to take a short break and be back with the 4th. It's North Brunswick 44, West Brunswick 7 on the FOCUS Broadband TV Game of the Week. And we're back for the start of the 4th quarter. FOCUS Broadband TV Game of the Week. West Brunswick trailing North by 37. Josiah Borton drops back, going to take off and run with it, and stays on his feet to about the North Brunswick 46, 47-yard line. West Brunswick still about 5 yards shy of the line to gain after Borton's short gain on 2nd down.
Sam, you know who was in the middle of that wall there for North Brunswick was our buddy 65, Tyrell Simpson.
Man, he's huge.
6'6", 6'7", something like that. He's only a 10th grader. So we see him on the basketball court as well.
Yep.
But he's doing some damage in there on that defensive front for North Brunswick.
Borton going to take off again, and there's Simpson again.
I think he ran into him there.
Yep, Simpson again was ready for Borton to try to escape the pocket there. Borton did pick up 1 yard to the North 46, but the Trojans need the 42-yard line of the Scorpions for a first down. As we approach the 10-minute, 40-second mark, Jay, it looks like West is going to bring the punt team on.
Well, Hamrick's had plenty of practice punting this evening, that's for sure.
High kick, short kick, but takes a West Brunswick bounce inside the 15-yard line, now inside the 10, down at the 9-yard line. So 46 and 9, a 37-yard punt. marked down at the 9-yard line of North Brunswick. And Hamrick has had a nice night punting the ball. You know, he didn't handle the punting duties in like the first quarter. Borton did.
Borton did, yeah.
But since Hamrick's come on, he's done a good job punting the football.
Well, JoJo, like I said, he leading the conference in punting, but I'm not sure about those numbers because they only had him as having one punt on the season, and that was for 40 yards. It was good enough to lead the conference.
There's a run around the right side of the offensive line. That was 10, Chris Webb, who got across the 10 to the 11, a gain of 2 yards, sets up a 2nd and 8 for the Scorpions.
Scorps out over the ball. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think that's a good no call on the officials' part that time. That was, yeah, the crowd does not agree with that whatsoever. Josiah Sneed getting just a 10th grader. No harm, no foul.
Third and 4 here. Ball's at the 15-yard line. And that's going to be enough for the North Brunswick first down. And that will keep the Scorpion offense on the field. And the clock moving. 8 minutes and 53 seconds left in this one.
You know, both coaches are in a situation now to learn a lot about their respective teams. West, you know, trailing by 37 points, you know, do you keep playing hard? And North up by 37, and you got kids that don't normally get to play. How can they do?
Oh, got a big run here.
Pretty well.
Jonah Campbell,
84.
the sophomore, making a nifty little run there. Picks up about 12, 14 yards for another North Brunswick first down.
No offensive numbers for Jonah before tonight. He's got some now.
Going to get a West Brunswick timeout here before this 1st and 10 snap. Laney, 28-0 lead over New Hanover. In other area action, Ashley with a comfortable 35-14 lead over South Brunswick. Hoggard, a 45-0 winner over Topsail. That game has went final. So there's your other league scores. Ashley 35-14 leading South Brunswick. That game's still going on. Laney and New Hanover still playing. Laney up 28-0. Whiteville leading Pender 49-6. We do have Whiteville next week.
Is that the same Pender that scored 106?
Last week.
Oh, my God.
It is indeed. Good open field tackle by West Brunswick's Nicholas Brown there.
That's another 10th grader on the run that time for North, Nick Green.
So Nick Green on the run and Nicholas Brown on the tackle.
There you go. Pair of Nicks.
How about it? North Brunswick's is Nicholas picked up 4 yards on the carry. Campbell is just going to take that one around the left side, and he's brought down by Harry Doherty, and Trey Evans picked up a couple of yards. Set up a 3rd and 3 as the game clock approaches the 7-minute mark here with North Brunswick leading 44-7.
There you go. That's Sneed.
Sneed with a tackle for loss. Officially a loss of a yard, and that looks like it will bring on the North Brunswick punt team for the first time tonight, Jay, and punter Holland Miller, who we saw knock in an extra point earlier in the second half.
Miller averages 37 yards per punt and has kicked it 4 times inside the 20.
Trey Evans racing around the edge, almost got it. Timothy Collis Miller fields it on one hop, still on his feet, still fighting for yardage. Finally wrestled out of bounds near midfield. Good job fielding that ball off one big hop and getting about 15, 17 extra yards of field position for his team. Timothy Collis Miller.
Collis Miller's got a little bit of speed, don't you think?
He does.
Yeah.
Does a lot of things well. Got good hands, runs well, tough kid. Seems to be in the right place more times than not. So West Brunswick's offense will come back onto the field in plus territory. And the North Brunswick Marching Band is currently playing Poison, I'm told.
Yeah, they're playing that one for Dr. Mike Maurer. I'm pretty sure that was a request on his part.
Borton carries that one around the left side and picks up about 5 yards to the 40-yard line, setting up a 2nd and 5 from the North Brunswick 40. This time, West gives it up the middle. Ball carrier still on his feet, inside the 20. Wrestled down around the 16-yard line. A gain of 24 yards. Jay, is that Deshaun Fullwood?
It's number 33.
33, yep. There's Fullwood again. He's still on his feet, fighting for extra yardage. Now he's being carried toward the end zone.
He's in.
And he is in. A 17-yard touchdown run by the senior running back, number 33, Deshaun Fullwood. Just West Brunswick's 2nd score of the night, and that was the first offensive score of the night for West Brunswick. And it's North Brunswick 44, West 13 with 4:53 left in the game.
It looked like Deshaun was pretty happy over there on the sideline.
It was tough running. Two great runs in a row to cap that drive. Hamrick's kick is up off the upright and no good. Here's the touchdown run by the senior running back, Deshaun Fullwood. And watch 62 there, give him a lift. And he's in.
Hey, Mike, what's that play now?
Jay, I think they call that one the tush push.
Yeah, L.J. Bellamy being the pusher that time.
So North Brunswick 44, West Brunswick 13, 4:53 left in the ball game.
You know, since the first half, Sam, we got a 7-6 game? Is that right? Yeah.
That's correct.
In the third quarter.
Yep, Hamrick's extra point could have tied it up in the second half.
Yeah. Onside kick?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
I don't think so.
High end over end kick, fielded cleanly by the Scorpions. He's got running room. And a lot of it.
Wow.
And North's going to respond to that West Brunswick touchdown very quickly. A kickoff return for a score from Ty Witters, about 85 yards for a North Brunswick touchdown, and North Brunswick has reached the 50-point plateau. 4:37 left in the game. The North lead now 50-13.
Witters, I just wanted to make sure, yeah, he is a 10th grader. A lot of youth. We talked a lot about the West Brunswick youth. I think you could make some good mention of the kids for North Brunswick as well that are in the 10th grade and playing awfully well.
Jay, I'm going to try that one again. Maybe an onside kick did make more sense.
Tell us again, Sam.
90 yards. Ty Witters around the left side. Made one man miss right there, and that was all she wrote, folks. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, North Brunswick. It is a 51-13 North Brunswick lead, and the North Brunswick cheerleaders are getting in the fun in front of a big crowd tonight at Gary Bishop Stadium.
You know, the folks here at North Brunswick do a pretty darn good job of supporting their Scorpion football team.
They do indeed.
Understand from Nathan Evers, our producer director extraordinaire, that they've added a whole new section of bleachers for fans of North Brunswick football.
Deep kick, but returnable for West Brunswick.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sometimes, Sam, the best thing to say is no thing. And we'll let it go at that.
Well said, partner. 4.5 minutes left in this one. West Brunswick trailing the Scorpions of North Brunswick by 38 points. Trojans just going to keep it on the ground on first down. Jay Bird, this has to feel good for North Brunswick head coach Brian Davis and the rest of the Scorpion program coming off that tough loss to New Hanover a week ago.
Yeah, of course, they've got a good shot to run the table the rest of the way this year. But certainly recovering from that beat last week is a good thing for the Scorpions.
Deep pass there in front of the visitors' sideline. Falls incomplete.
There's Coach Davis. So we're at Whiteville next week for our Focus Game of the Week. They are playing Pender tonight. East
Whiteville
Bladen.
and East Bladen next week. Good old southeastern North Carolina old-fashioned slobber knocker. Wing tee. Whiteville kind of more in a like a modified wing tee. They run it with some spread. But East Bladen is old-fashioned. Under center, every snap. Kind of confusing as to who gets the ball. And so West Columbus is beating East Bladen tonight, and West Columbus beat Whiteville earlier this season. So West Columbus is the team to beat in that league. Penalty against North Brunswick. pass was intercepted. A flag did come in around the 23-yard line, but it's a holding against West Brunswick. It will be declined, and the result of the interception stands. It was Carter Cox, the junior defensive back, who picked that one off. A great catch.
Borton overthrew. Wait a minute, what do we got?
Yeah, it was a holding against West. North declined it, and so the ball will be spotted where Carter Cox picked off the pass.
Yeah, I think Josiah Borden overthrew his brother, Noah Borden, and number 9, Carter Cox, his second interception of the season for the junior. 16 total tackles, 15 of them solo. Also has a blocked field goal to his credit this year.
Yep, North Brunswick wants a timeout before this snap. 3:46 left in the game. North Brunswick 51, West Brunswick 13.
And shame on me, I forgot to grab who North Brunswick and West Brunswick are playing next week. I know the last game of the year for West.
West has got New Hanover.
They got, okay. That's a tough one for the Trojans. And North, maybe, have they played Laney yet? That's what, next week.
So North Brunswick plays Laney next week.
That'll be a nice matchup.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will, with major implications as far as the conference standings go.
Yeah, Laney, with their victory this evening, will take over second place in the league.
Laney has how many league losses?
They
Just
are
the one.
Yeah, they'll be 4-1.
Yep, and move
if they
ahead
win
of New
tonight.
Hanover. Yep.
And they were ahead of New Hanover.
So, Jay, here's something interesting. New Hanover and Ashley will both move to 3-2 with Ashley holding that tiebreaker.
And
so
that's
Ashley
something.
will be in third place. So back-to-back short gains on running plays for North Brunswick. Game clock at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Man, I sure hope TT Green's okay. I didn't even see him come out for the second half. Pop pass around the right side, and West brings down the ball carrier at the 40-yard line.
Where you been tonight, Oscar Mendoza? Usually call him out several times, Sam, and maybe you did this evening. I don't remember, but he certainly got that one.
I don't know if I've called the young man's name tonight. Made a nice play there, though.
So TT Green wears number 3, and I've been looking as well. I do not see a number 3 in a blue jersey down here. So.
And you know, the last play he would have played in the first half was the interception where he was chasing it down from behind and may or may not have got clipped, in the back there. So 4th down, North Brunswick ball carrier running for his life. Let's see, lost 10 and then 7 more. It's officially a loss of 17 on the 4th down snap. So we are crawling toward the finish line, folks. 1:43 left in the 4th quarter. Result very much in hand. North Brunswick leads West Brunswick 51-13. So West Brunswick has a 1st and 10 at the North 43-yard line. Jaquel Davis on the give. He's fighting for yardage, picks up about 10 and a West Brunswick first down.
51-20 has a little better sound to it than 51-13. I guess it really doesn't matter, of course, but take these little victories if you're West Brunswick, and putting another 6 on the board before this game's over would be one of them.
Another give to Davis, this one around the right side. And he's tackled out of bounds. Now the referee has waved the game clock here.
Under 1.
So Jay, got 45 seconds left. Quick wrap. First for North, then the west side.
Web night. Web
Yes.
night for the North Brunswick Scorpions, and that would be Calvin Webb and Chris Webb, who combined for, 5 touchdowns, I think. And so a tremendous effort by both of those kids this evening. And then for West Brunswick, again, just tough getting going, trying to, and they get down quick, and then, well, you got to abandon whatever it is you were thinking about doing, and just makes for a long night for the Trojans. But hopefully in a year or two, these long nights will pay some dividends for West Brunswick.
That deep pass from Josiah Borton to Noah Borton falls incomplete. Oh, Jaquel Davis just ran over a member of the North Brunswick secondary, so he's still running hard. And West has called a timeout, Jay Bird. That first down carry gives West a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. So North Brunswick going to improve to 6-2 overall, 3-2 in Mid-Eastern Conference play. The Trojans going to fall to 0-8 overall, 0-5 in Mid-Eastern Conference action. Again, West Brunswick takes on New Hanover next week, while North Brunswick will take on the Buccaneers of Laney.
And there is a look at Coach Brian Davis and staff and the kids, and likely the last huddle of the night for the Scorps. Unless West can score here.
West taking a shot to the end zone. Intended receiver Noah Borton just didn't quite find the football quick enough, and it falls incomplete. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think Noah did find the ball until, and that was probably.
Kind of looked like it landed right beside him.
Yeah, close to, in the vicinity anyway, right? So.
So Borton stays on his feet inside the 10, inside the 5, down at the 4-yard line.
So the clock will stop because now it's going. That's
it's
probably
running, and that is going to do it. The game clock has expired. North Brunswick 51, West Brunswick 13 on your FOCUS Broadband TV high school football game of the week. Good night from Gary Bishop Stadium. Scorpions improved to 6-2, 3-2 in league play, and West Brunswick still looking for its first win of the 2023 season. For the entire FOCUS Broadband TV team, he's Jay Combs, I'm Sam Hickman. Good night from Leland. We'll see you next week as Whiteville takes on East Bladen.